tennis.
Some chicken wings. I don't care if he wears that hat all day and all night long. I'm going to get some more emails. Oh, Kimberly, what's wrong with you? You're mesmerized by Tom Brady. Duh.
Yeah, because men aren't visual creatures, right?
Please. Throw a flag on the play.
Branding issue. And Rachel, we talked about it on the couch yesterday because you brought it up. I mean, think about where the NFL has been in the last 6 to 8 months and the scandals that they've dealt with. We know how they deal with branding issues. They try to, oh, I didn't see the videotape of Ray Rice dragging his girl. I didn't see the whole tape, says the commissioner of the NFL. And look, I mean, we can't prove that they haven't contacted him, but why wouldn't they have contacted him? What are they afraid of? What is the hot poker here? I mean, seriously.
It's what Tucker says. They don't want to know. But here's the deal.
They booked Katy Perry already, and she's not available a week later if they postpone.
Right. And, well, the thing is that in my house, I would say that lying is a worse offense than what you originally did. And I think that, you know, the football player that was on just before that said, hey, he needs to take responsibility. He's the quarterback. I agree. I think he looks really weaselly. He should just come out and say it.
I don't think he cares.
I think the American people are pretty forgiving. We forgave Bill Clinton. We forgave a lot of people.
I don't think he cares what we think. I mean, look, he's got everything that he wants, and he's going back to the Super Bowl. My thing is, what makes it fair? So do they deflate the footballs for Seattle at the Super Bowl and let them play that game with an advantage?
It's a little late now, no?
Yeah, it's a little too late.
Why?
Well, because the game that may have affected is over. Right, but the Colts don't get that opportunity.
Yeah, but you could even, couldn't you even kind of the karma, if you will?
I mean, look, the problem here is it makes you feel like the game is rigged.
Yeah.
I don't know if it is, but it certainly raises that question. You know, baseball has had a lot of this. It's just depressing. I mean, I don't think it's corrupting the youth of America. Let's not overstate it.
But,
but it has been rigged in the past. I mean, Andrea brought it up, 2007, and what happened with him with Spygate.
Yeah, I think that's why people look at the Patriots and they go, really? Because they have a tarnished image already. And I don't think Brady did him any favors when he came out and he said, I don't believe so. When he was asked if he was a cheater, you either are a cheater or you aren't a cheater. It's not, I don't believe I am. Although when he says he had nothing to do with it, he may be telling the truth. He may technically not have touched those footballs, but somebody else did. And Tucker's right.
Equipment coach.
Blame it on the equipment coach.
It depends what the definition of deflate is.
Right.
All right.
Okay, now we're getting into the Clintons.
Yeah, the Clintons. You're right, Tucker. The fun is gone.
This is supposed to be a really fun week leading up to the Super Bowl.
Well, it is for us.
Well,
not for them.
For different
so my
reasons.
old college buddy, not really buddy, but we were classmates, Jim Rome, you may have heard of him, tweeted out yesterday, the Patriots' punishment should be to watch the entire Pro Bowl. That's unkind, but funny.
Oh
anyway, you were gonna say.
You have funny friends. Well, so I want to listen because I just want to put Tom Brady back up on screen again.
And I love
sort of pulling me from my 49er obsession. It's bad. I'm going to see a therapist. But listen to what he said, because somehow every news conference has ISIS involved in it.
Oh, boy.
Things are going to be fine. This isn't ISIS. This isn't, no one's dying. But, we'll get through this, and, hopefully we can really start preparing for Seattle and, get our mind focused there because, they're going to take, all my mental energy for the next 10 days.
Yeah, so the people
I got to the bottom of that. Somebody let the 2 pounds of pressure out of his head. The air went right out. He's all I
agree with him on that, too. I agree. It's not ISIS. And look at the television coverages. I mean, we're seeing gay people being thrown off of 200-foot towers and young kids getting killed for watching soccer games. And look, we're obsessed with this.
The Islamic State, I mean, really? In context with this, that's offensive.
Wow.
And it just makes him look like he doesn't know what he's talking about in terms of
it makes him look like a liar.
If he'd said, oh, this is not Nicki Minaj, well, then I would have
By the way, it's pretty bad when the Puppy Bowl and the Lingerie Bowl are more ethical than the Super Bowl.
I'm telling you, I've known it all along.
Puppies don't cheat.
Puppies don't cheat. Okay, well, it's just the start of a GOP-controlled Congress about 3 weeks in, and already the list of vetoes President Obama is promising is growing and growing. So how will the White House ever work with Congress if this keeps up?
What's better than Golden Corral's hot and delicious yeast rolls? How about 6 free yeast rolls to take home?
Free? That works for me.
Hurry in with your family for our legendary dinner buffet and take home 6 yeast rolls absolutely free. Yup, that's how we roll. Only at Golden Corral.
Oh, nice. A shot like that calls for a post-game celebration. Share what you love with who you love. Kellogg's Frosted Flakes.
They're great.
O'Reilly here. Most Americans are happy gas prices are falling fast, but why is that happening? And are we being set up for a quick return to higher oil prices? Also, a Super Bowl ad that many Americans will not see. We will show it to you with a viewer warning. The next factor.
They challenge us. They take us to worlds full of heroes and titans. For Respawn, building the best interactive entertainment begins with the cloud. This is Titanfall. The first multiplayer game built and run on Microsoft Azure, empowering gamers around the world to interact in ways they never thought possible. This cloud turns data into excitement. This is the Microsoft Cloud.
Huge savings at Joseph A. Bank. Get 70% off a huge selection of pants, shirts, ties, outerwear, and sweaters. That's 70% off all leather jackets, 70% off all sweaters, and 70% off all wool cashmere pants. The styles you want at prices you can't beat. It's 70% off pants, shirts, ties, outerwear, and sweaters. Tuesday through Friday at Joseph A. Bank.
I am totally blind. And sometimes I struggle to sleep at night and stay awake during the day. This is called non-24. A circadian rhythm disorder that affects up to 70% of people who are totally blind.
Talk to your doctor about your symptoms and learn more by calling 844-824-2424 or visit your24info.com.
Don't let non-24 get in the way of your pursuit of happiness.
I know there are a lot of ways to lose weight, and believe me, I've tried them all. And along the way, I've learned a few things. Like, did you know that when you lose just 10 pounds, you'll drop your blood pressure by 5 points? Pre-diabetic, lose 7% of your body weight and lower your risk of diabetes by 58%.
Lose weight fast with Nutrisystem's Fast 5 Plus Kit. Lose 5 pounds in your first week, plus 1 inch off your waist or your money back guaranteed.
So you can have more energy, sleep better, and reduce your pain. And not just look good, but feel good.
Order your 28-day Nutrisystem plan right now, including Fast 5 Plus. Get 1 week of meals, plus 1 week of energizing shakes and Craving Crusher shakes, free. New food selections, new expert guides. Call now and lock in 2014 prices, and shipping is free.
Do what I did and call Nutrisystem.
Check out our plan for people with type 2 diabetes.
Call 888-506-FIN right now and get Fast 5 Plus with shakes free.
Tonight, American Sniper Backlash. Why the far left has the film in its crosshairs, and is Hollywood anti-military? Sean gets answers on a special Hannity. Tonight, our powerful primetime kicks off with the Kelly File.
You just got a big bump in miles, so this is a great opportunity for an upgrade. Sound good? Great. Because you're not you, you're a whole airline. And it's not a ticket you're upgrading, it's your entire operations, from domestic to international. Which means you need help from a whole team of advisors, from workforce strategies to tech solutions and 1,000 other things. So you call PwC, the right people to get the extraordinary done.
Welcome back to Outnumbered. Well, we're only 3 weeks into the new GOP-led Congress, but even as lawmakers toil away on Capitol Hill, it may take a while for any new bills to make it past the president's desk. That's because those veto threats the president issued during his State of the Union address are starting to pile up. Not only is he threatening to veto more around sanctions as he pushed for a nuclear deal, but he's already inking up his stamp on 8 other bills, including a ban on most abortions after the 20th week, a separate bill banning taxpayer-funded abortions, natural gas pipeline permit reform, the Keystone XL Pipeline Act, increasing the work week under Obamacare from 30 hours to 40 hours, tougher requirements for writing federal regulations, bills to weaken the Dodd-Frank financial overhaul while promoting job creation and help for small businesses. Oh, and amendments to DHS aimed at overturning the president's executive actions on immigration. Wowie. Okay, that's quite a mouthful. Tucker, lots of veto threats on lots of important legislation. Really? I mean, should he open the gate by saying, I'm going to veto all of these things?
Well, it's so instructive because you learn what he cares about. And abortion is the one thing that's non-negotiable for them. It was the first thing he did as president, was make it more accessible. It's the issue on which he hasn't bent at all. Our abortion laws are so much less restrictive than those in Europe, of all places. Most people don't even understand that. They would veto a bill to ban abortion for sex selection. They're extremists on the subject. It's ghoulish, it's creepy, and it's something you really ought to keep in mind when you hear the president attempt to seize the moral high ground. By the way, it works. They completely intimidated the Republican Congress with these veto threats.
I was going to say,
unfortunately, but it reveals who they are, I think.
Progressives, yeah, because Harris, a lot of these bills wouldn't get passed without Democratic support. The Iranian sanctions looks like it's going to have Democratic support. So he's even breaking with a lot of members in his own party.
But, you know, some of these are reflective of what Republicans had wanted to talk about, too. I mean, the president isn't just that the Keystone Pipeline was something that Republicans brought up very early. So my question is, you know, with the GOP, where should they be in terms of their intestinal fortitude on these issues? I mean, should they be fighting harder? Are they fighting hard enough? Are we missing something, Rachel?
Well, look, he's committed to a liberal agenda. That's obvious. Not America. They should pass these bills, put them before the president. I mean, he's been able to hide behind Harry Reid all this time. So we've never really seen what the American people's reaction is to a veto. We've never gotten to that chance because Harry Reid would kill it in the Senate. So let's see what the American people, how they're going to react, because they clearly voted in November for Republican policies.
So the question is, will the GOP do that?
And Kimberly, you know, some of these bills, I think Republicans should just keep passing and sending and passing and sending. So the American public knows the Republican Congress is doing a lot of these populist things like Keystone, like immigration reform, a lot of these things that poll really well with a majority of Americans.
And it's what is expected. Okay, you were given the trophy for the midterm elections. Now show us what you're going to do with that mandate that we gave you, and put the pressure, put the president to the test. Make a record, because this isn't just about the next year. It's about 2016 and the direction of the country going forward, and about choices. Being able to do the compare and contrast and say, look, these are what you're going to get with the Democratic Party. This is what you have with the Democratic president. You decide informed. Put him, make him go on the record about it, because you're right. He doesn't have Harry Reid or anyone else to stand in front of him like, you know, covered in a giant, you know, Glad bag to protect him from these things. He's going to have to say what he thinks and put it out there.
You know, Tucker, the bill to impose sanctions on Iran, which the president said that he will veto, a critical one, looks like it may get enough support with Democrats to override a presidential veto. Is that something Republicans should focus on, maybe putting pressure on these Democrats, getting their constituents to put pressure to have them start to come on board for some of these more mainstream bills so they can override these vetoes?
Yeah, I mean, you know, they can win on some of these issues. Should that be the one that they expend their political capital on? I don't know. We can debate it. I mean, personally, I would like to see people sort of rethink, like, what is our goal
in
the
region
region
before we should focus on?
Right? Energy.
Yeah.
Energy, because it's a national security issue and it's an economic issue. And by the way, there's no defense for blocking the Keystone Pipeline. Global warming? Are you kidding? It will actually reduce greenhouse gases. It's insane. It's a matter of religious faith on the left.
Yeah.
And the right should make that point explicitly. They can win.
You know what's funny is the president bailed out the big banks. It's amazing he isn't circling the wagons right now around U.S. energy producers.
Well, I should say that the president spoke today, and I know this came out of the White House, about drilling in the Atlantic. So, I mean, the conversation about energy is being had. It's just, how can you do one and not do Keystone? I mean,
it's
It's inconsistent.
Well, President Obama trying to reach a younger audience by doing interviews with YouTube's biggest stars. So will it work, or is it just too silly? Up next.
If you had any superpower, what would it be?
Any superpower, you know, I guess, like, the flying thing seems pretty cool.
Don't just treat gas, attack it. Phazon 250 milligram, the strongest anti-gas medicine available for fast gas relief.
Release the magic. Bubba Witch 2. Download now.
Meet Jill. She thought she'd feel better after seeing her doctor. And she might have if not for Kari, the identity thief who stole Jill's social security number to open credit cards, destroying Jill's credit and her dream of retirement. Every year, millions of Americans just like you learn that a little personal information in the wrong hands could wreak havoc on your life. This is identity theft, and no one helps stop it better than LifeLock. LifeLock offers the most comprehensive identity theft protection available. If Jill had LifeLock's protection, she may have been notified before it was too late. LifeLock's credit notification service is on the job 24/7. As soon as they detect the threat to your identity within their network, they will alert you by text, email, or phone, helping protect you before the damage is done. And LifeLock offers the proactive protection of bank account takeover alerts. LifeLock's comprehensive identity theft protection helps guard your social security number, your money, your credit, even the equity in your home.
Doesn't matter how old you are or how much money you have. Identity thieves steal from everyone. You have to protect yourself. I protect myself with LifeLock.
While identity theft can't be completely stopped, no one helps protect you better than LifeLock. And LifeLock stands behind their protection with the power of their $1 million service guarantee. You have so much to protect and nothing to lose when you call LifeLock right now and try 60 days of identity theft protection risk-free. 60 days risk-free. Use promo code ONGUARD. Order now and get this document shredder to keep sensitive documents out of the wrong hands. A $29 value, free. Call 1-800-419-8380 or go to lifelock.com/onguard to try 60 days of LifeLock identity theft protection risk-free and get a document shredder free. Call 1-800-419-8380 right now.
You totaled your brand new car. Nobody's hurt, but there will still be pain. It comes when your insurance company says they'll only pay 3/4 of what it takes to replace it. What are you supposed to do, drive 3/4 of a car? Now, if you had Liberty Mutual new car replacement, you'd get your whole car back. I guess they don't want you driving around on 3 wheels. Smart.
New car replacement is just one of the features that comes standard with a base Liberty Mutual policy. And for drivers with accident forgiveness, rates won't go up due to your first accident. Learn more by calling 1-888-861-5644. Switch to Liberty Mutual and you could save up to $423. For a free quote today, call Liberty Mutual Insurance at 1-888-861-5644. See car insurance in a whole new light. Liberty Mutual Insurance.
Can a protein originally found in a jellyfish improve your memory? Our scientists say yes. Researchers have discovered a protein that actually supports healthier brain function. It's the breakthrough in a supplement called Prevagen. As we age, we lose proteins that support our brain. Prevagen supplements these proteins and has been clinically shown to improve memory. It's safe and effective. For support of healthier brain function, a sharper mind, and clearer thinking, try Prevagen for yourself today.
President Obama just wrapping up a controversial post-State of the Union gig, and that was meant to reach a younger audience, in fact. And he was interviewed by 3 YouTube stars, Hank, Glozell, and Bethany Moda, each of them with millions of viewers. And they tackled some serious topics. Watch.
What do you think is the best long-term plan for making education as a whole more affordable for students?
Are you at all worried that your administration is going to be seen as a time when drone strikes where a technology like we see is over or misused?
How can we bridge the gap between black African-American males and white cops?
I always do a show with my own picture in the background. Just kidding. Those were actually interesting questions, right? Mm-hmm. And then this happened.
The Castros. Right. Okay, I mean, the guy puts in dictatorship. So I'm trying to...
If you had any superpower, what would it be?
My mama said, whenever you go to somebody's house, you have to give them something.
Oh,
Don't come
okay.
empty-handed.
Right.
So I have green lipsticks, one for your first wife.
My first?
I mean...
Do you know something I don't?
Oh
my God. First lady, maybe?
Yeah, she did. Yeah, that's what she meant.
Wow. But that's not in what we didn't expect, right? No. That's exactly what we expect.
That is.
Right? Your thoughts?
Yeah. Okay. I think that he got tougher questions from Glozell than I've heard him get from some news outlets like NBC. So she did come prepared. I've got to give her that. I mean, was it a bit off the wall, to use that word, with President Obama? Yes. Was it a bit embarrassing that he sat down with her and was asked those questions? Silly questions? Yes. It was, but you know what? If he would meet with Netanyahu and do the other tough stuff, I wouldn't be so critical of him on this. I mean, he can pull it off. I will give him that. He can pull it off. He understands the medium, and he doesn't care, Harris, and he doesn't have to care because he has nothing to lose. But I do think that there was, I don't know, there was some political benefit to doing this, as embarrassing as it is.
All right, a couple of things there. So we know Speaker Boehner has invited Netanyahu to come here, Prime Minister of Israel. That's supposed to be a joint meeting with Congress on February 11th. And we now know that the president is not expected to meet with him or attend or any of that. So given what you just said, is this smart for the president?